It's one of the most important adjustments that you can make and get right on the asphalt oval, yet most people don't do it. So, what is it? Well, stick around because you're going to find out next. What's up, everybody? Thomas Brandon here. Thank you very much, as always, for joining me. And like I said, we're going to be discussing what I think is one of the most important adjustments that you can make on the asphalt oval side, and most people don't do it. Now, this adjustment is obviously, it's not hard. It doesn't cost you speed or time or anything like that. It's all about comfort and feel, which is why I'm such a big advocate for it. Yes, you can do this adjustment on the dirt. You can also do it on the road, but where you see its biggest effect is on the asphalt oval side here in iRacing. So what is the adjustment? It's caster, more particularly caster split. So what is caster and caster split? Caster is this adjustment right here, okay? These numbers right here below the camber. Caster is the angle of the steering arms. What happens is when you go into a corner, and you hit the brake and the suspension loads and all that other stuff like that, the angle of this is going to determine how the wheel feels going into the corner. The more caster split that you have, meaning the higher the right side and the lower the left side, the more the car will pull to the left, especially when under braking. If you are at a track like Atlanta, you're going to be running a lot more caster split and a much higher caster on the right front, or at least I will be, than I would if I'm running the, Xfinity cars at North Wilkesboro. All right. Caster is a track dependent adjustment. Yes, it's also driver dependent because it's got to feel good for you. But based on your driving style and the track you're at, it's going to determine what caster you run. You might find that you don't want any caster split. That's fine. If that's what feels good to you, then by all means run it, because it's not, like I said, it's not going to affect your time. It affects how the wheel feels and what it does when you're under braking and steering and stuff like that. The lower these numbers are, the lighter your steering wheel is going to feel. It's almost like if you turn off your force feedback. That's how the steering wheel will feel if you drop the caster numbers all the way down. The higher the numbers, the heavier your wheel will feel. So it'll be like you crank up the force feedback. If you run more split, like I said, left side lower than right side, the car is going to want to go to the left, especially under braking. If you run the left side higher than the right side, the car will actually pull to the right. Okay, so this is something that you want to test and figure out. I can tell you myself personally, like I said, at Atlanta, on the bigger tracks with the, Cup or Xfinity, that type of thing, I'm going to be running my right front, at like 11 or 12. And then my left side, I'll have at like 6 or 7, right? I run, 5 to 6 degrees of caster split at the bigger tracks. The reason is it's a big, mile and a half, speedway, right? It's got a lot of banking let off, and I want that thing to really dive down, arc down into the corner. Now, when I'm at a track like Phoenix or Myrtle Beach, for example, I don't want that because this is a shorter track, the corners are more sweeping, and there's not a lot of banking. If I have a bunch of caster split in it, for me, the way that I drive, what happens is the car plows. So it pulls to the left, but the front tires don't grip, and then it just slides up the track, and then the tires catch, and then my car snaps and I spin out. Okay, so that's why it's so important for you to figure this out. Now, how do you figure out what feels best for you? Really simple. What you're going to do is you can go to any track. It does not matter the track, okay? But go to any track, get the iRacing setup, okay? You just want the iRacing setup. Make sure that you take out the steering offset. So if I actually load this setup back up here so you can see what I was doing, take off the steering offset. We don't want that. And put the shocks, the bump, and the rebound, put all of them to 9. The reason why we're going to 9 is because 18 is the max, 0 is the minimum, 9 is in the middle. We don't want the shocks to be affecting what the suspension feels like. We want to actually get a feel of the caster, okay? Because weight transfer, all of this has an effect on it. You always want to set your caster first, okay? This is one of the things. When I'm building a setup, I set my casters like before I do like anything else. You've got to get this right. Caster and gear, very important, okay? So now that we've got that, we're going to split the difference on this. The max is, let's just call that 10, okay, on the right side. And then on the left side, I think it's 11. almost 12. So what we're going to do is we're just going to split the difference. We're going to go right in the middle here. We'll just put it at like 7. Actually, let's go 6.5. Try to keep them even, as close to even as possible. Okay, there we go. And then once you do that, you're going to need to reset the toe in because it's always going to change that. All right, so we've got that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to turn a couple of laps. Okay, now when you're turning these laps, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a feel for the car. You don't care about your lap times right now, how fast you're going, none of that stuff. You want to be driving at, try to be driving at a race pace, but you want to be really focusing on the feel of the car. Need to run a lap or so to heat the tires up so we don't go spinning out. Now you notice as I'm braking and the car is actually turning in, if you notice my steering wheel is kind of straight. So it kind of like shifts to the right a little bit and then it like straightens out as we're going to the left. See that? And that's because we have a pretty even caster split right now. Okay, so after you do that a few times, what you'll do is first of all, you need to test how heavy you like it to feel. Okay, so after you do that a few times, what you'll do is you'll then go back in here, all right, and then you'll raise the caster up, all right, increase it evenly, and then also lower it. See if you like it lighter. Okay, when you're driving it here in the middle, be like, do I want the wheel to feel heavier or lighter? If you think it should feel heavier, move it up. Really simple. Test it. Once you got it, you're good. Okay, once you determine how heavy that you want it to feel, all right, and I will say this, the higher the number, the more stable the car is. I recommend being above 6 overall, because when you get really light, it makes the wheel feel, or you get really low, it makes the wheel feel really light, and then the car, like I said, it almost is like you don't have force feedback, and it doesn't feel very good, at least to me. But once you've got that, then what we're going to do is we're going to set our right front at the number that we like. Okay, for me, I know that it's around the max. I usually run the right front on these cars around the max. Okay, now my left front though, that's going to be determined on like what track I'm at and how much I want the car to pull to the left. So I know that here, all right, I do want to have some caster split. It's not a ton, but some. So we already ran it even. I don't want it to be even. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with 1 degree of caster split. And we're going to go back out and we're going to test. And I'm going to go out, I'm going to turn a few laps. And I want to see how the car feels when I'm driving it into the corner under braking. See how now it's got a little bit more of a pull to the left on it? You can see how it just goes in nice and smooth, right? So that feels pretty good. I do think I could probably get a little bit more out of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase that up. Now we're going to go down another degree, and then we're going to try that. And we're going to keep doing this until we find the split that we like, the split that feels good to us. Once we have that, now we know. And like I said before, remember that this is a track-dependent thing, okay? It's not something that you're just going to be like, oh, I like 2 degrees of split at every track. But what you can figure out is, hey, at these smaller tracks, right, at Myrtle Beach or North Wilkesboro, New Hampshire, Phoenix, right, these tracks that are like this, that are got these sweeping corners, I like to have about 2 degrees of caster split. See, I can really get on the brake, turn that thing in, the car doesn't plow on me or anything like that. The front end feels stable to me. That's what I want. I want the front end to feel stable. I cannot build my setup until I have the front end stable, and that's it. You'll just keep increasing that split until you find a point that feels good for you. And once you've got it, you're good. That's it. It's a very simple process, and the more times that you do it, the easier it will become for you to just knock it off really quickly at any track. Now I can go to any type of asphalt track with the exception of a few. There's a few of them out there like iRacing Super Speedway where I'm running like inverse caster split because the track is so ridiculously banked and big. But for the most part, like normal tracks, it takes me, 5-10 minutes to figure out my caster, and once I've got that, then I can start building my setup. But you want to get this dialed in first. If you don't have this correctly, you're going to be struggling. And I've seen a ton of people in all of these open setup races that I've been running lately that are just struggling, absolutely struggling. The car's just plowing up the track, or they hit the brake and it just snaps on them. And I can tell you right now from experience, a lot of that has to do with the caster. If you don't have that feeling good, you're going to be screwed. All right. So, you guys, that's going to do it all for this video. Now, really quick, do me a favor. If you like this, please hit that like button. Also, make sure to subscribe. And if you would like to join me, I do live stream here on this YouTube channel at least 2 nights a week right now. We're in between our NARC season, so I'm doing like Tuesdays and Thursdays right now. But if you want to join me for that, it's a lot of fun. We race basically anything. And the live streams, as of right now, I do them live, and then the recordings, that they don't go up. So if you want to catch that stuff where I'm building setups and talking and doing a bunch of different stuff, you got to be there live. So if you want to check that stuff out, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. Also, if you want to get the setups that I built for this car or the Xfinity truck, Cup, all of the dirt stuff, I've got free setups for all the cars, and I just posted new custom helmets and custom suits and a bunch of stuff, and we have a ton more coming, and it's all for free on the SSR website. Just go to schoolofsimracing.net, click the button that says join community, and you get access to the free membership site. And once you've got it forever. It's not something that you're going to be charged money days later, or say, hey, if you want to access this now, it's nothing like that. It's completely free. It will always be free. And if you want to get all of this stuff, like I said, I post, that's where all of the free stuff goes now. Anytime I build a free setup, anytime I update old free setups, anytime I do anything that's going to be free, I post it in that free membership site now. So if you want to check that stuff out and see what we've got and all the ways that we can help you, head over to schoolofsimracing.net, click that button, join the community, and then also make sure to join the Discord, because that's where all the communication happens, and it's a great group. We've got almost 3,000 people in there now, which is just awesome. But you guys, that'll do it. Thank you very much as always. Until next time, I want to wish you good luck, good racing.